Good morning, students. Milk for the cat. When the tea is brought at 5 o'clock and all the neat curtains are drawn with care, the little black cat with bright green eyes is suddenly purring there. At first, she pretends having nothing to do. She has come in merely to blink by the grate. But though tea may be late or the milk may be sour, she is late. And presently her agate eyes take a soft, large, milky haze, and her independent, casual glance becomes a stiff, hard gaze. Then she stamps her claws, or lifts her ears, or twists her tail and begins to stir, till suddenly all her lithe body becomes one breathing, trembling purr. The children eat and wriggle and laugh. The two old ladies stroke their silk. But the cat is grown small and thin with desire, transformed to a creeping lust for milk. The white saucer, like some full moon, descends at last from the clouds of the table above. She sighs and dreams and thrills and glows, transfigured with love. She nestles over the shining rim, buries her chin in the creamy sea. Her tail hangs loose, each drowsy paw is doubled under each bending knee. A long, dim ecstasy holds her life. Her world is an infinite shapeless white, till her tongue has scored the last holy drop. Then she sinks back into the night, draws and dips her body to heat. Her sleepy nerves in the great armchair, lies defeated and buried deep, 3 or 4 hours unconscious there. So, students, Milk for the Cat is a children's poem about a cat and how she gets her daily dose of milk. The cat goes to the poet's house at 5 in the evening every day. Knowing that it is a tea time at the poet's house, she appears without fail and at the right time. The curtains are still drawn at the poet's house when the cat appears by the window. So, and at first she pretends like she has come here nothing and she has nothing to do with milk. She has come just like that. So, the curtains are still drawn at the poet's house when the cat appears by the window, its green eyes glowing. Every day at 5, the cat waits by the poet's window, purring and waiting patiently to be given its tea. Initially, when the cat comes, she pretends that she is just paying a casual visit. That has nothing to do with the milk she is given every day. However, the poet knows that the real reason behind the cat's visit is the milk, for she appears only at the tea time and continues to do even after evenings when the milk served to her is sour. At the As the cat waits for the milk, her eyes that look like two stones of agate. Now look at the para 3. Now as she appears, her eyes that look like stone of agate. So here the poetic device has been used, that is metaphor. metaphor. Metaphor has been used here in this line. Agate eyes. The eyes of the cat have been compared with that stone, agate stone, shining agate stone. And as the cat waits for the milk, her eyes that look like two stones of agate become dreamy and soft, perhaps fantasizing about the milk that's about to come. So here the eyes have been compared with agate stone. Metaphor has been used in these lines. And as the evening progresses, the dreamy look in the cat's eyes become more assertive. That means she becomes more positive about that she will get the milk. What was just a casual aloof glance becomes a hard stare in weight of the milk. As the cat's weight progresses, she begins to attract attention by stamping her claws and lifting her ears, and even begins to attract attention by stamping her claws. And then, when the cat fails to attract attention and milk, she begins to purr loudly. She starts making sound. The people at the poet's house carry on with their evening tea without paying much attention to the cat. So here you see in this para, the children eat, wriggle and laugh. So the people at the poet's house carry on with their evening tea without paying much attention to the cat. So it has been described in this para that the children eat, laugh and play amongst themselves, whereas the two ladies adjust their silk robes. They neglect the cat. So this neglect from the house inmates, the house members, makes the cat's desire for its milk more stronger. So much so that her body is reduced to a small and thin mass, burning in lust for the food. So you see here it is given in this line, transformed to a creeping lust for milk. So her body grows thin because of her strong desire of milk. Now so the white saucer, like some full moon, descends at last from the clouds of the table above. She sighs and dreams and thrills and glows, transfigured with love. Now, what happens next is then comes the thing. The thing here is that the milk, what the cat was waiting for so eagerly, that appears. And that milk, saucer of milk, has been compared like a full moon. The saucer of milk is compared to a full moon. Moon is white and milk is white. So the saucer of milk has been compared to full moon. The saucer of milk descends from the clouds, that is the table. And the table is like clouds. Saucer of milk is like the moon. So there again the poet has uses the poetic device name is simile. SIMILE. Her tail, she sighs and dreams and thrills and glows, transfigured with love. So when the long desired saucer of milk descends from the table, the cat sighs. The sight of her milk fills the cat with love. She takes deep breath. She looks happy at last. She sighs and glows out of sheer thrill. She adjusts her face above the shining rim of the saucer and gets comfortable. Now, you see, she nestles over the shining rim. That means she adjusts her face above the shining rim of the saucer, the outer edge of the saucer, and gets comfortable. buries her chin in the creamy sea. Again, you see, simile has been used. Milk has been compared to a creamy sea. So, she buries her chin into the milk that looks like a creamy sea. With her paws nestled under her knees, the cat enjoys the milk while her tail hangs loose. You can see, as long dim ecstasy holds her life, her world is an infinite shapeless white. Now she is satisfied that she got milk, and that shapeless white, the saucer of milk, that is her whole world. So she is so focused on pool of white milk in front of her, and that it is the whole world for the cat, never ending last till she has polished off the last drop of milk. So that pool of white milk is the whole infinite world for the cat. She consumed with so much care as if it is the holy water. Once she is well fed, the cat retreats back into the night. So, till her tongue has curled the last holy drop. So, here the milk appears to the cat like some holy drop. She lick every bit of the milk from the saucer, and it is like some holy drop for her. And as she finishes with it, she sinks back into the night. Satisfied with her hearty meal, the cat then sinks her sleepy body into the armchair. Next last stanza it is, draws and dips her body to heap her sleepy nerves in the great armchair, lies defeated and buried deep, 3 or 4 hours unconscious there. So, satisfied with her hearty meal, the cat then sinks her sleepy body into the armchair, and there on the armchair the cat falls into a heavy slumber. Slumber is deep sleep, lying defeated by sleep, unconscious for a good 2-3 hours there. So when uh, her desire is fulfilled, she got the milk, she had her tummy filled, she goes in the armchair and take a deep sleep for 2-3 hours. So children, that's it. I hope you must have enjoyed the poem. Thank you. Have a nice day.